They removed this. Great. Why was it there to begin with? This is by this channel, YoungRippa. I do kind of remember this guy, actually. I went over some of his videos a while ago, I think. Disney trans action. So this is obviously about Disney. They had an animated film, I guess, coming out. I don't know. They were going to have a trans character in the movie, and then for some reason, they just kind of decided against that. Conservatives are now really excited because the movie isn't going woke, but apparently they're not that excited. Like this guy, he said, yay, they removed it, but why was it there to begin with? Classic. Always finding a reason to complain, you know?
First, want to go into some of the more Hollywood-based things that are taking place. I don't know if you saw this. I know you've been traveling and whatnot. But Disney pulls a transgender storyline from Pixar's Win or Lose streaming service, which I'd imagine they're not going to make money on that anyway. Because it's streaming.
Wait a minute. Is this the pronouns guy? Isn't this the bald dude that was shrieking about pronouns?
Yeah. But a spokesperson for Disney confirmed that the story arc was removed and provided the following statement. They said, when it comes to animated content for a younger audience, we recognize that many parents would prefer to discuss certain subjects with their children on their own terms and timeline. If the character remains in the show, but a few lines of dialogue that reference...
Oh. So they're not actually even removing it, really. The character remains in the show, but a few lines of dialogue that reference gender identity are being removed. That's all that happened. I don't really care that much. The trans stuff is in a lot of kids' media nowadays. Of course, kids are going to know about this. Kids are going to learn about this one way or another. One Disney cartoon reducing a couple lines is not a big reason to freak out, in my opinion.
We know that Disney has a bunch of employees, right, that are obviously very agenda driven. And yes, it's weird that they are so hyped up in putting this in basically all of their media.
Wait, what? Why are they so hyped up to put this in all of their media? You just read us the article about them not putting it in the media.
Even if it has nothing to do with it, like the story that they're telling, like in this case, maybe what does it have to do with softball or anything? Nothing. But they could
have something to do with softball. Like sometimes trans people play sports. You know that, like, they're people too. They like sports sometimes. We would have to see the show to actually genuinely determine whether or not it was like unnecessarily crammed into the show, or if it was just like a natural part of one of the characters in the show. We'd actually have to see that to determine that.
And they wanted to make sure that it was there, but it got removed. So I don't know if you have any like initial thoughts before I kind of go in and give you mine.
I know what some of his initial thoughts are. Fucking pronouns!
Number one, what that means for Disney going forward, considering that it was at least bad enough for them to say, yeah, we're not putting this out.
Again, why are they making all these emotionally charged assumptions? And it's so fucking annoying. It was so bad that even Disney was like, no, we can't put this out. No, actually, Disney said, hey, we reduced a little bit of the dialogue because we know that this is a sensitive topic that sometimes parents would prefer to discuss with their kids. You're making this like far more emotional and sinister than it actually is. It was so bad. Nowhere did it say that.
Well, if you've got trans storylines with children, you're a fucking pedophile. Okay.
The kids. Okay. This guy is like full blown in need of a lobotomy then. He's so invested in just making these dumb fuck inflammatory statements that he didn't even make a real coherent point. So I guess because this show is going to be viewed by some younger audiences, if you animate a trans character into the show, that makes you a pedophile?
The kids need to go nowhere near this shit. It's got nothing to do with them. Children aren't sexual creatures.
Wait, children aren't sexual creatures. I agree with that completely. But again, why are you conflating sex and gender? Now you sound like the creep, you fucking weirdo. We're talking about gender identity, gender expression, what kind of clothes you wear, what kind of social expectations that are placed on you, that kind of stuff. If there was a young person who seemed to show interest in transitioning, that's not sexual at that point, nor is there any sexual anything involved. We're talking about putting on certain clothes. It's so funny how these conservatives are always the ones who are projecting. It's like he starts off by calling the people that make the show files, and now the way he's talking makes him sound 10 times creepier. Because he's like, children aren't sexual. Why the fuck do you think that kids, like, being trans or non-binary is anything sexual? You fucking weirdo.
Any 5-year-old who's saying that I'm trans, it's because an adult's told them.
Oh, facts.
It's Munchausen by proxy and all that.
Usually with that kind of a disorder, it's the parent pushing for treatment for the kid, even when the doctors are like, we're not so sure about this. A lot of the times for trans stuff, it's the opposite. A lot of the times it's parents aren't sure what to do, and doctors will suggest a course of treatment. Big difference.
This is just a disease of the West. You don't get this anywhere else. The fact that
he's excellent at using buzzwords. This is phenomenal. I've never seen a real human talk more like an AI. This guy could be like Mark Zuckerberg's son. This is fucking amazing.
You're saying that you've removed it. Why was it even there in the fucking first place?
Right.
Can we just have, if kids are going to have TV shows targeted for children, can they please just be TV shows that are meant for children?
Exactly.
Nothing to do with
It's really
kids.
funny when they say that too. Why can't you just make stuff for kids? Because when we make videos for adults or make movies for adults that are featuring trans characters or something, you guys also freak the fuck out.
From other corporations that they think they have to stick it in. If there's any company that is producing programming for your children that involve this kind of stuff, boycott those companies. Don't give them.
I like that his username is the Silverback, and he's about as smart as an ape. That's so fucking ironic.
Why was it there in the first place? Why is this company, and it's they use creators loosely, whatever you like to call those people, because they're more activists than they are creators. Why do they?
Oh my god. I would just Roblox myself if I was ever this fucking stupid. Honestly. You read us the beginning article that they said they're taking it out. If they're activists, then I gotta say, these are some of the worst fucking activists I've ever seen in my life. Wow. It's just nothing this guy is saying is making sense. He's giving us evidence that contradicts the dumb fuck statements that he's making.
Why do they feel so pressed to inject this stuff in every single form of media?
Because first of all, they don't feel pressed to inject this in every form of media. That's just not really true. Second of all, I will say this. The reason that this kind of stuff is so prominent is because of, and I've used this argument before, I'll keep using it, because of people like these guys right here. If these people were raised in an environment where trans people were a little bit more accepted, they probably wouldn't grow up to be such pieces of shit bigots. But alas, here we are. So therefore, we have to keep on fighting, you know? Really, I blame these guys. YoungRippa 59 and the Silverback, you are both directly responsible for all of the trans woke propaganda and all of the media everywhere.
And then your mind has to wonder, like, why are you doing that in the first place? Right? There were some leftists that were not too happy about this, and they actually...
That's a fucking shame.
Right?
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers goes to them. But they were so bent out of shape about it, and basically the spin was that this was somehow about lack of acceptance. And I'm like, acceptance as far as what exactly? If by that you mean, yeah, we're not accepting you trying to put this transgender nonsense in children media, then yeah, no, we don't accept that for sure.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, although you guys, you see, you've failed once again to give an actual argument. You've said what you think. You haven't given an argument. All right, we're done with these guys. I can't tolerate any more of those fuckwits.